Welcome to the Wolf Pack. This morning, we are introducing you to the Wolf Leadership VIP Showcase. We will be focusing on having a championship mindset and developing your emotional intelligence.
Hi, my name is Eric Bailey and I am an activational speaker. So my workshop is Championship Mindset. What's a championship mindset? It's the mindset that champions have to live their personal best. Hello everyone and welcome to the virtual Expo. My name is Eric Bailey and I am the CEO of Wolf Leadership, and you're at the right spot. Trust me when I say this, you will not want to miss not one single word that I am going to share with you. I'm going to be talking about having a championship mindset. Why is that important? Let me tell you why it's important. It's because in these climates, in today's economy, in households, in businesses, in organizations around the world, whether it's from top management to mid-management to just people who are working within the business, team leaders, it is important that you strive to be the best that you can be. How can you do that? Is you have to work on your mindset. Now, I'm sure, the executive training program, the sales program, the spreadsheets, the technology, all of that is important. But if you don't get this right, if you don't get that headset right, then trust me, you won't be able to comprehend everything else. 40 years ago, now I know you're looking at me and go, Eric, you mean 40 years ago? 40 years ago, you were just a baby. Oh, no. 40 years ago, I was just finishing up playing in the NBA. When I say playing in the NBA, I was cut. I was discarded. They basically said, you're not good enough. And let me tell you something. I was devastated. I was distraught. Why? Because I had put so much work into becoming an NBA player. And you might be sitting there or wherever you are around the world, and you might be watching and you'd be understanding the disappointment of putting your time and effort into something and then all of a sudden being told you just don't measure up. Well, that was me. And I was laying in a hotel bed and I was thinking to myself, what do I do next? I had a defeatist attitude. And then all of a sudden the phone was ringing. And I picked up the phone, it was the middle of the night, and the voice said, "Good day, mate. How you doing?" I'm like, "Mate? No, you got the wrong room." So I hung up. And I laid there for a while and I was like, you know what? I should have talked to this guy. Anyway, the phone rang again. This time I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to listen to what they have to say because it could be an opportunity. And too many times, because of circumstances, because of how you are feeling, you're running from opportunities that present themselves out of the blue. When we talk about being successful, when we talk about being a business savant, we talk about always putting yourself in a position that when opportunity knocks on the door, not only do you open the door, you get dressed, and you are attentive. So I got up, I picked up the phone again, said, "Hello." And the voice said, "Hey, listen, we know that you're upset. We know that you feel defeated, deflated. We know that you just got cut from the NBA team. It was your dream. But we're offering you an opportunity to come and play professional basketball." So now my ears, they perked up. Why? Because now I'm thinking to myself, okay, be positive. Embrace the opportunity. Having a championship mindset is about embracing. So I got up and I said, okay, tell me more. And the voice said this. He said, "Eric, we're calling from the best state, in the best country, in the entire world." And I thought to myself, okay, you must be calling from the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Dallas Cowboys, the Seattle Supersonics, the Houston Rockets. I'm thinking rejuvenation. And back then I had an afro, so I started twirling my hair. You know how you get when you got hair and you get all happy? You twirl. I was twirling my hair because I was thinking, right, I'm going back to the big show. And then I said, okay, where you calling from? He said, Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. In 1982, I had never heard of Australia. How am I going to hear about Hobart, Tasmania? What are you going to tell me about a Hobart, Tasmania? I said, excuse me, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't even know what that is. He says, Eric, all you have to do is go get a globe. And for all you Gen Y, Gen X, Gen Z who never heard of a globe, it's one of those things that you could spin it and you could see all the countries in the world. We didn't have internet back then. So I thought to myself, okay, let me check this out. So I hung up. I decided I was going to call some people. Anybody heard of Tasmania? No. Anybody heard of Australia? No. I was like, okay, man, this dude's playing a joke. I said, he called me back. He says, all you need to know is that Hobart, Tasmania is exactly like Hawaii. I said, what do you mean Hawaii? He says, we're a small little island off the coast of big Australia. And everybody from the mainland, they come to Tasmania because they want to come and be warm. The sun's always shining. Eric, you're going to be a king on an island. He said, you heard of Gilligan's Island? I said, yes. He said, you're going to be the king of Gilligan's Island. And let me tell you something. Back then, I was unemployed. I didn't have a game. I had nowhere to go. I was thinking to myself, you know what? I got to go to this place. I got to go to this Hawaii. Now, for those of you who have never heard of Tasmania, you heard of Australia, you've never been to Tasmania, let me tell you something. There's no sun. Back then, there was no sun. Let me tell you, it was not the Hawaii. But I went anyway. But when I got there, you know what I realized? I realized I wasn't where I was before, sitting in a hotel, wondering, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? It dawned on me. I'm playing basketball in another country. What did I need to have to make that adjustment correct? Championship mindset. If you are a CEO, if you are a sales manager, an HR manager, if you have a team and you're responsible for a team, I want you to ask yourself the question, what are the characteristics that you need to display, which you need to have each and every day to make sure that you got great culture in your building, that your team is feeling like they're appreciated, that your team is feeling like this is a place where they can contribute. You got to have a championship mentality. You got to have championship DNA running through your veins. And for me to have to adjust to a new culture, a new team, a new part of the world, a new way of living, a new eco-friendly food system, I had to have championship DNA, a mindset that would allow me to embrace change. Are you embracing the change? Hey, we just got out of COVID. And we were in COVID. Oh man, lockdown. I was there. I was locked down. I lost 95% of my income because I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't leave my state. I couldn't leave the country. I couldn't go and speak. I couldn't do what I needed to do to earn what I was earning. Another thing that happened to me during COVID is my wife of 37 years decided, hey, got to make a change. No better time to change than right now. So I lost my house. I lost my car. I lost the comfortness of what I had been living. So at the end of 2020, I had to find a new place to live. So guess what? I had to have a championship mentality. I had to embrace that at age 60, I was starting all over again. You see, all of this, what I'm telling you right now about championship mindset, championship DNA, it works for your business. It works for your life. It works for your relationships. And if you have children at home, it works for them too. You know why? Because you want them to see that you are willing to adapt. But here I was in a different country, and now I had to find a way to refresh, to refocus, to relaunch myself. And what I want to share with you now is the 3 characteristics of having a championship mentality, championship DNA, championship mindset. And if you apply these 3 characteristics to your everyday life, trust me when I say this, you will see success. You will see an upgrade, an uplift. You will be able to walk through your doors at home and in the office and feel like you're on track, not just to survive, but to thrive. And in these conditions, it's all about thriving. So the first one, accountability. You must be able to hold yourself accountable for not just the way you act, but accountable for the things that you think. You see, too many people use words in their brain that causes their body to be confused. You want to succeed, but you use words like, maybe I will get it done. Holding yourself accountable also means is that you have someone else in your world who will call you out on when you are making excuses. How many times have you had an amazing idea, a brilliant idea or suggestion you wanted to take to your sales manager or you wanted to take to your team? But because of something that has happened to you in the past or something that you're still holding on to, you refuse to share your idea. Someone said to me a couple of years ago, Eric, where's the most expensive plot of land in all of the world? And I started thinking of, these big high rises. And he broke it down. He said, no. He says the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, in the ground, millions of people have gone through their life with an idea, but never acted on it. You know why? Because they were afraid. They were afraid for what somebody would say. They were afraid that they might fail. They were afraid it might take too much time. And those people, if they would have had someone who was holding them accountable for what they wanted to produce in their life, maybe could have coached them up. Who's holding you accountable for the things that you want to get done? And that whole thing about accountability, it works two ways. You see, someone can hold you accountable for what you want to do, but as a leader, in order for you to hold someone else accountable in a great way, is that you must know how to do that for yourself. The second one, believability. Believability. What does that mean? The ability to be able to believe that you are worth fighting for. To believe that every day when you get up, you have a purpose. To believe that every day that you can shed some light, some experience, some knowledge into the life of someone else who's going to elevate them. Believability is also your actions. Do they allow other people to believe that what you're saying you will actually do? For those of you who are in sales, I've worked with sales teams around the world for 25 years. And the first thing I always say to them from a sales perspective is this: whatever you're selling is fine, it's great, fantastic. But the most important thing is this: how do you make that person feel during, before, and after the sale? Because when you want to talk about having referral business coming back your way, the best way is to make that customer feel like what you're talking about, what you sold them, and how you sold them, you meant what you said. Are you memorable? When you walk into a meeting, you have to present. When you have to pitch an idea, the way you present, the way you look at each team member, are they connecting with you on a level that not only do they believe what you're saying, but they believe how you are saying it? Believability is also your ability to actually believe that what you're doing in your life means something more to others than it means to you. You see, as a speaker, as a trainer, as a presenter, I don't talk just for the sake of talking for me. I want my audiences, I want people like you to hear this presentation and go out and make some changes in your life. I want to be able to transform you in a way that you can see some significant growth and progress in your life. You see, Wolf Leadership, this company, this organization that I am with right now, this is what we do. Whether it's on a Zoom call, whether it's in a boardroom, we present content in a way that the team who are in the audience, they actually can feel and see that growth is on the horizon. We ask them, we get them to contribute, interact, get involved in the conversation. We don't do all the talking. We let them come up with ideas and ways that they can evolve. Why? Because not only do we want you to believe in us, we want to be on the call and we want to believe that you are going to take some action. That's what believability is about. And there's the last one. It's C. Consistency. Consistency Are you consistently doing the small things to give you the growth? You see, I played basketball for 14 years professionally in the NBL in Australia. And the one thing that I know about playing professional basketball, or any sport, is not the fancy stuff that wins basketball games. It's the small fundamentals. Dribbling with your right hand, dribbling with your left hand, working on your defense, your fitness, your mental routine, working on your muscle memory. All of the small things that the fans never get a chance to see. They're boring. Who wants to do those over and over and over and over and over again? No one. But in the moment, when the game is on the line, it's that one fundamental that you've practiced over and over and over and over again. When you execute that to precision, you get a good result. Consistency also is consistently making sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people. Consistently making sure you are taking care of your body and your mind. Consistently putting yourself in a position that when you walk out the door, when people see you, they correlate you with the brand. Because you never know where your next lead is going to come from. Consistency means you are doing the right things at the right time and the right way. You see, you're looking at me now and you're probably saying to yourself, wow, Eric, well, it's easy for you to say because, you're 6'6" and basketball maybe came easy to you and all you had to do was roll the balls out and you picked it up and you went and you slammed and you shot your three-point shots and you were good. You were probably Steph Curry before they were Steph Curry. No. Let's not go that far. Let me tell you something. I'm talking from experience here. You see, where I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, from the time that I was born, I was told there was no success in your cards. I was told that you would never finish high school. I was told that you would never, ever, ever run like the normal kids. You see, my body was beat down with a disease in my bones. And to top it all off, my coaches, my head coach, my GM, my HR manager, my sales manager, did they sit me down and say, hey, listen, Eric, here's the plan. Here's what we like to do. We appreciate you. No. They sat me down and said, you know what, little fella? I'm sorry. We're not going to keep you. We're trading you. We're going to send you off to the adoption agencies and we're going to draft ourselves a new team. They didn't have faith in me. So here I was in a place where no one wanted these kids and two strangers came in and said, hey, you know what? We're going to give you a chance. But this chance that we give you, the only way it's going to work is you got to have a championship mindset. We're moving you in one of the worst neighborhoods in America. We don't have a high school or college education. We don't have money. We don't have superannuation. We don't have a big bank account. We don't have any of that. But what we do have is some characteristics that we want to give to you. And they weren't fancy like the names that I have now, but they correlate to the same thing. They said to me every single day, you must hold yourself to a higher standard. That's accountability. 2, you got to believe that you're worth fighting for. Okay, I agree with that. That's believability. And the last one, you know what they said? They said you got to keep doing the best you can every single day. That's consistent. So because of that, I was able to graduate from high school, play basketball, go to university, travel the world, and now this is what I do. So I know it works. So here are some questions that I want to ask you right now. When you look at what you're doing right now, are you getting the results that you want to get in your life and in your business? Are you working at the highest level possible to make sure that every day is a success? If the answer is no, then guess what? You have something that a lot of people don't have. Opportunity. Because every minute of the day, someone is losing their life or losing an opportunity or walking away from their dream. What are you doing every day? How are you elevating the possibilities for you to become the best version of yourself? In this expo, there are 24 speakers and in workshops, there are lots of things that you can be partaking in to work on your personal development. I hope that this 35-minute presentation that I'm giving you allows you to at least believe and dream of something bigger and better for your life. And let me tell you, it's difficult for me to stand here and talk to a camera because I don't know what you're doing on the other end. Like, are you playing with your phone? Are you rubbing your cat? Are you patting your cat on your head? Or are you taking this in? Do you have a pen and a pad? Are you taking down some notes? Because I want you to walk away from this and make some adjustments to what you're doing. I know it works. The question is, what are you willing to do? Hey, look, I know I've been coming at you because I get passionate when I talk, but I just want to highlight the importance of just making sure that you understand the moment. And when negativity and challenges come, that you can put it in perspective and just be level in it and just stand and be calm. Right before I started my journey to become a professional speaker and work in this space, I decided that I needed some training. I wanted to go and talk to the best. And so I jumped on a plane, lived on the Gold Coast, and I flew to Sydney to speak to the experts because I wanted to get a sense of, okay, what do I need to do to create the life that I want? And I'm sharing this story with you is because there are going to be a lot of people who can relate to this, where you want something, you want to do something, and you have to go and you have to talk to someone who potentially can give you the okay or is an expert, and you want to get their feedback. And sometimes what you hear from them can be so daunting and so painful that you just go, you know what, I'm shying away. But instead of taking that and putting what they said in the proper perspective and take the good out of it, a lot of people just harness on the bad. So anyway, I sat down with a couple of people who were experts, and I said, hey, listen, my name is Eric Bailey. I used to play in the NBL, and I would like to become a motivational speaker. I want to tell my story. I want to travel the world. I want to give people knowledge and all of my passion. And they looked at me and they said, okay, Eric, that's fantastic. So they took out their pads. They had some questions for me, so I took out my pad because I wanted to make sure I had all the questions down. And the first question was, well, Eric, have you ever done Toastmasters before? Of course, I hadn't. I was like, well, no, I've never done Toastmasters. And they said, so that means you've never had any formal experience? I was like, nope. They said, okay. Have you ever won an NBA championship? And I was like, well, no, I've never won an NBA championship. And he says, have you won an NBL championship? I was like, no, I haven't won an NBL championship. He said, well, have you, in university, did you speak? I said, no, I haven't. I said, listen, I have got no experience at all. I said, but my passion is overwhelming. And they looked at me and they looked at each other and they said, well, in this industry, passion's not enough. I said, but I'm willing to learn. They said, okay, Eric, well, thank you very much, but there's a couple other things that we need to sort of tell you. I said, what's that? So how tall are you? I said, 6'6". They said, oh, you'd be way too tall. You'd intimidate audiences because the average height is only 6 foot. I'm like, wow, okay, all right. And Eric, and your voice, your American accent, it will put people off. They won't be able to understand. You don't say the words the way we say it. I'm like, wow, okay. I said, well, I can work on that. And then they were fumbling around. You ever been around someone and they were having a conversation and you could tell they wanted to say something, but you didn't know what they were going to say and you were trying to. So I said, obviously, you have something else you want to say. What else is it that you would like to say? They looked at each other and they said, well, Eric, we can't book you to speak here in our country. I was like, why not? He said, because you're black. I said, what? Well, there's no one of color who we've ever put through to speak and get paid. So I looked at him. I gathered myself. And I said, well, if you don't, I'll be the first. And I picked up my notebook and I got on a plane. Now, I got to be honest with you. On the plane, I was full of rage. So much rage that water started to flow down my eyes. And the rage was not because of what they said. The rage was, here I go again, having to prove that my color is not going to be a hindrance for me to be successful. And I also thought, when I become a professional speaker in Australia, I'm hoping that other people, black, white, blue, red, yellow, orange, all races, all genders, when they can see that someone was able to take a negative like that and turn it into a positive, that it would open the door for them. I guess, once again, championship mindset. I knew what I had to do. Hold myself to a higher standing. Accountability. Believe that I'm going to make this happen and do whatever I have to take. And one, I'm going to be consistent in doing whatever it took. This was before the internet went wild. So what I had to do was start sending out letters, making phone calls, talking to people, going and watching people present, getting my own identity. I made myself where I am today by believing that I belong. Once again, I'm sharing with you this story because at the end of the day, if you're watching this, if you're watching all these other performers, you want to take something that's going to better your business. There is no better way for anyone to improve in their business and in their life by sharpening their tools. There are tools here that start right here because it's all about your mindset and your DNA. I'm very passionate about what I talk about, and a couple of months ago, we got some testimonials that came in as to effect that what Wolf Leadership and what our workshops have done. And I want to share what they said because it's important for me and our company to be validated in that we're doing a good job. And for those of you who are sitting out there and maybe you do have a company, you do have a team, and you're thinking about, what I'm talking about, this kind of stuff would go well with your team. I want to share this with you because all you need to do is to look at what we've been doing. And if you'd like to get more information and find out more about that, you just contact us. We do programs on Zoom, so if you're in another part of the world, but if you want to fly us and the team over, happy to come. No problem about that. Loving first class, you have to get me though. But anyway, so a couple of companies, one of them, recruitment company, we went in, we did a session, and some of the comments was the team felt like they now could collaborate more. They're more open. They discuss new ideas. Another one of the testimonials was about, she said that now she feels like she can come into the organization and she feels more like a coach, and there's more harmony and more cohesion. And then we had someone else who had leave, like was away, but decided, you know what, I don't want to miss the workshop. I'm coming in. So our workshops are interactive. They're passionate. All of our facilitators are experienced, and they really care about what they're doing, and that's who we are. We talk about championship DNA, Wolf Leadership. Our owners are passionate. Our owners are skillful. Our owners have championship DNA. The building, the culture of what we have here is all about making sure that every day is better than the day before. And when you listen to me speak, and those of you who have never heard me speak before, you can go on YouTube, you can check me out. We have a YouTube channel called Wolf Leadership, The Den. You can YouTube that. When you hear me speak, you know that when you hear me speak, what you are hearing is my exuberance and my passion and my energy and my zest to transform the world one mind at a time.
You know, if you want your business to grow and you want people to have a growth mindset, then understanding that emotional intelligence is very, very important.
Yes. Purpose drives us to a common goal. What is the common goal? At a group level, decide on 3 points that are going to be your 3 points as a group for next year and put them on the board.
I'm telling you right now, the practice daily of active listening is a superpower. It's a superpower because people respond when they know. You often hear, if you've ever heard someone say, I think you're a good listener, they're saying that unconsciously because you're actively listening to them. Active listening requires energy, mental energy, because you've got to slow down everything else, be right there in the moment and be present and allow yourself to be changed.
Having Eric here today, like I said before, it really did sort of capture or encapsulate how people feel about their roles within the business. There was a huge element of motivation there, and I myself have sort of stepped away quite positive about it, and obviously as head coach of the team that we do have, I think I'll come back in tomorrow with very much so a different viewpoint and obviously where I want to see myself within the business.
I thought it was great. I thought there was a lot more openness within people that we work together. We don't usually have that much openness. Sometimes it can be closed off, and then it forced us to work in teams and think about what we want to do as a future.
Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us during this short period of time. Wolf Leadership, we honor you, we appreciate you, and we want you to succeed in life. And please, any questions that you might have, don't hesitate to drop us a line. Our details are all over the booth. And one caveat, my producer just told me that our ebooks will be ready real shortly. So if you'd like to get a complimentary ebook from our facilitators that has content, send us your details and we'll send that to you, and you will be able to sit down at your leisure and read some of the articles that our facilitators have put together. So thank you so much. On behalf of Wolf Leadership, we want to say thank you. Peace, love, and howl with us at any time.